Dun, 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 dun. Music is so jazzy. I love it. This is how you know that we are about to start the Andrea Show. Ding, ding, ding. At least my mom shows up or somebody. So yeah, jazzy music, and welcome to the Quilting Shed. I'm your host, Andrea. Today, I will be showing you fabric. I know. So grab your tea, fluff them blankets, because some of you are still in bed. Let's look at some new stuff. Oh, I even got out my matching red mug, wore a red shirt. I know. And like last week was the color red. And speaking of the color red and it being Jeannie's favorite color, it's not just Jeannie. Okay. So you haven't really seen this mug before because I keep it at like the back of the cupboard. It's a big mug, but for some reason, everything in which you think it was good because you get more tea, right? Or more hot cocoa. We're getting to the cocoa. But for some reason, everything cools down in it really fast. I don't know. I usually save it for herbal tea. So funny. Last week I talked about the color red, and this week, what's today? Wednesday. Monday, I swear, every customer came in wanting red fabric. Almost every customer left with red fabric. The one who came in for red fabric, we decided green was better. They were putting Santa Claus on something, so I needed a background. But yeah, the green's going to work better for that. Yes, we all figured it out. So today, whoa, as you can see behind me, and I already mentioned it, it is time for hot cocoa. And it's funny because it is a blustery day out there. It is very much hot cocoa weather. I mean, you just look outside and hear the wind whistling and going like through your windows if you have some crappy windows like I do, and rattling away. You just want to get a nice cozy sweater, some nice quilts around you, put on some Hallmark movies and nice cup of cocoa, maybe some handwork. That sounds like a perfect day, honestly, but you know. Mm. Emma has also hidden some Snickers around for me because even though Halloween is this weekend, we did buy a box of Halloween candy, but I'm always out seeing the grandkids, and we never actually really lived in a place that gets a lot of trick-or-treaters. So Emma and I ate the candy. I divvied it all up. Yeah, I made little organized piles, and then I got the little sandwich Ziploc baggies and made myself labeled them like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so I wouldn't just mindlessly scarf them all down. So I'm out, of course, but Emma has some left because Emma doesn't like the Snickers for some reason. Weird kid. So Emma has kindly left this morning and said, well, I hid a little tiny Snickers for you somewhere in your sewing room. And I hid one somewhere in the shop, but not where customers could find it. I'm like, okay, it's behind the counter somewhere. Because you don't want a customer going through fabric going, ooh, there's a Snickers. Or maybe you would. Yes. Angela, one of our regulars, has to go do some stuff. So she'll be back later. You're not going to want to miss this because cocoa fabric later. You'll catch up later. You'll see it. Anyway, so yeah, we have time for hot cocoa. It's really gorgeous. It came in, remember last week I said, I'm waiting for this fabric and I'm waiting for that fabric. One of them came in, I think, later that day, and the other one came in the next day. So I've spent a lot of time shuffling things and putting more things on sale. Whee! And you guys have spent a good amount of time buying things, which is absolutely great because you're really helping me out here. I mean, it's a public service at this point. Chilled Snickers. My friend Michelle has chilled Snickers. Yeah, Emma and I were talking about that too. Like Snickers are supposed to be better frozen. Mama, have you ever had it? Like they never last that long. Anyway, so it's time for hot cocoa, and the panel that came with this is the cutest thing ever. It didn't come with placemat panels this time because I got the entire line. But you don't need placemat panels because you could do all kinds of fun stuff with them, like mug rugs and placemats and pot holders and tea cozies. One of my customers reminded me that tea cozies are a thing that you can make that's quilted. And I'm a tea drinker, and I completely forgot. And I own like, I was going to say a million tea cozies. That's a slight exaggeration because I did scale them back a little bit. I know, right? So we've got a set of, this is what they call a craft panel because they expect you to cut it up and do a bunch of different things with it. It has 3 of the longer bits on them. These aren't as long as the ones that have the gnomes on them. It's from the same company. That's why it's very similar. And if you saw the coffee fabric we had, it's the same sort of colorway. Different designer, though. So we've got 3 of the longer ones, which would be really cute in, like, if you have like a breakfast nook, or somebody on your Christmas list has a breakfast nook and likes red and black, which is really also hot for Christmas. Then it has 9 of these squares, which are would finish at about 7 inches. So they're really cute. You can make all kinds of cute things. It's got peppermint. It's got cuddle in a cup. It's got salted caramel, which is amazing. And I mean, it just really makes me happy. And continuing with the chalkboard theme here and the really nice fonts, they did a really, really nice job on this. And I'm really happy because, of course, we've got the pre-cuts. And pre-cuts, there's 40 pieces in here. That's usually fairly standard, 40, 42. You're going to get around that. That's 17. So that's got multiples of each and every single fabric in the colorway, in the line, in all the colors is what I mean. So you'll get that, or you could have your jelly roll. That's not a roll. I know. Moda owns the term jelly roll, so the other companies can't say it's a jelly roll. They could just say, well, it's 2.5-inch strips. Same difference. Hi, Dorian. How you doing? Oh, lots of new people. This is so cute. And this, for the non-quilters, is also called a layer cake. We're going through some new terminology today. It just means 10-inch squares. Same sort of deal as the charm pack, which is 5-inch squares. So it's like 4 times as much fabric. Same deal, 40 pieces of fabric, multiple from each. The reason you start with some of these is it just makes your job easier. There's lots of patterns written for 5-inch squares and 10-inch squares now. It's just that first step of cutting bigger pieces and choosing the fabric. That's done for you. So really, really spectacularly easy start there. And as an added bonus, some fabric companies, if you order, like, give me the whole collection, they sometimes give you little bonuses. They like to call them sell sheets at this company, but you like them as free patterns. Haha. So I have some free patterns. Sometimes I don't know if I'll get around to making up some kits, but this is a pattern for this lovely wall hanging. Yes. Wouldn't that look cute? See, it's adorable. If you're stumped for ideas, it's 29 by 54. It's cute though. So there's that. I know, I'm just like all ready for like really, really fall now. It's definitely sweater weather. So let me show you some of the best prints out of this line. There is I know you like text prints. So we have the chalkboard text on black. And this line is priced at $20 a meter. But let me tell you, it's very high quality cotton. It is nice stuff. This is definitely wow, this is really nice. Of course it is. I only have like 3 bolts of not nice fabric in the shop, and that was kind of a mistake. So, I just get the nice stuff. It's very nice. It's soft. It feels good. It looks good. See, the higher quality fabric, I'm going to talk about this sometime. It just lasts longer. Just does. It's less prone to dye running. This would make, if you had like a little boutique coffee shop and you wanted custom aprons for your small number of staff, this would be the cutest aprons ever. I'm dying. I know. Little red mugs all over the place. I want like one of each of the mugs, that is. Like I need more mugs. And then I think this is the print that sold me, even though it's on cream, it's also on black. But it's the peppermint and caramels. Salted, of course. Duh. Is it too early in the morning to be talking about candy? Not if it's Halloween week. No. And of course, because it features chalkboard text and cafe style, we have the chalkboard black. But they went and outdid themselves, and they also did it in the red, which is more of a grungy texture, but that's often what you're looking for, is that it's not a solid, because that would be too stark. We just want something with a little texture to give a little pop. Here you go. And this is one of those, since we were talking about reds, this is one of those reds that, as you can see from the poor lighting and video, it's a little on the orangey side, not one of the purpley reds. It's more of the warm reds instead of the cool reds, but it does beautifully coordinate with the rest of the line. And like I said, there was no placemat panel, but there is a very large stripe. And as I have discovered accidentally while I was making a gift for my aunt, you can take some of these bigger stripe pieces and basically make your own placemat panel. I mean, yeah, it's pretty easy. You guys are smart. You know how to do these things. If not, just wander on in. I'll show you how to do it. I had people ask me obscure questions this week, which always tickles me because I like weird and interesting things. And when somebody comes in, it's like, I know I wasn't going to buy anything, and I just wanted to ask you this weird question, but I knew you'd have the answer. So I love doing that. And that leads me to my next pile, because everybody's like, oh, you're the expert. So I wanted you to know that not always. Remember, I think I've said before that I try not to work when I'm tired, and I try to know my limits. So I've been working on this Christmas tree runner. I've wanted to make it. I went and bought the pattern online because the designer needs the money. That was the easiest way to get the pattern. Sometimes I see people, they'll just have a picture, and I'm like, well, did you click on the picture that you got off Pinterest and follow through to buy the pattern? They're like, well, no, I figured I could figure it out from the picture. So, which is fine. And some people love doing that. That's the fun part for them. But honestly, I figure the price of the pattern, you are paying the designer to do the math for you. And this was like $5 by the time we got the conversion done. And I figured it was worth $5 of my time for them to do the math for me, especially since I looked at step 3 to cut the background fabric and thought, well, I don't know why they did it like that, because I cut the background fabric wrong because I wasn't paying attention. And because you're making trees like this, right? So you have opposite pieces like this that have to come out. Except somehow I was thinking these were the pieces I had to save, and cut out some extra pieces out of the other side, which I now do not have. I have extra fabric, that's fine. So I made a huge boo-boo, just so you know, it does happen. And I just decided that I was done for the day. Yep. I'm done cutting fabric for that day. And I haven't gotten back to it since. But that was like Monday, so it's all right. I'll go back to it. Just letting you know, I screw up on my stuff. And sometimes I tell you all about it too. So, Heidi, is it windy there? Ooh, that cocoa looks good for breakfast. Cocoa for breakfast. Yes, I love this season because you can have sugar for breakfast, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. This reminds me of a Twitter conversation. One of the radio hosts I follow, somebody had got deluxe orders for deluxe fish and chips. If you're not from around here, they got some deluxe takeout for breakfast, and I was just like, fries for breakfast are just long hash browns. There, I said it. They're just long hash brown. It's potato in another form. Totally fine. And fish, we're in the Maritimes. Of course, you're going to have fish for breakfast. Suddenly reminded of my grandfather's kippers and toast. Ooh, new text on the bottom. Yeah, Heidi, I don't know what I did to not make the logo cover up the new text messages as they come up on the screen in chat. Whoops, this way. Haha, everything's opposite. It's opposite day here. But there you go. So you can see the chats coming through from all the different platforms because I can barely see the logos. It's just tiny on my screen. I can make it bigger, but you don't need to know that. One of these days, I'll detail the techie bits for those who want to know. So new fabric comes in. That means new fabric on sale because we got to get it out. It's got to go out faster than it comes in. It's been coming in faster than it's going out. So we're a little piled up. But you will be happy to know that if you have been looking at the Be Kind line on the website or in person with all the bees, it's very pretty. It has peaches and blues, and there was a green print as well. And there's a really nice, pardon me, text print with all the like bee lore on it. That is 25% off, as well as the Indigo Garden. There's still some left. The Indigo Garden would make really nice pillowcases. Do you know how hard it is to find a decent pillowcase? I know, I keep going on about it. The Bee Kind is also really, really cute too. It's got bees on it. Who doesn't love bees and flowers? It's very pretty. The other thing I decided to put on sale because I looked at it, I was like, I can't remember the last time I sold any of this. So just going to keep marking it down until somebody buys some. It is a white tone on tone, which everybody also needs. You know, you're always running out of tone on tone backgrounds and stuff. This has little fleur-de-lis all over it. So that might be why it's not selling. So if you want something with a fleur-de-lis pattern in the background, maybe you're making something for a relative in Quebec or France, that would be very fitting. Or if you just don't care what the motif is, you just need some tone on tone in there. This is also 25% off, and it's 25% off like 12 bucks. So cheap. That's what it is. It's cheap. Remember how I said that I've got all this new fabric coming in and I really, really, really need to finish the samples that I've already started? If you had a secret bet going on with your friends about how long that would last, whoever bet on Sunday, you totally win the pool, because Sunday I went and made a new sample from new fabric and did not finish one of the old samples. I'm just like that. Anyway, it was totally worth it because I saw a traditional Amish pattern, which I've made before in a different size. And this one is a nice small wall hanging size. So it was just perfect for prairie meadow to fussy cut. There we go. To fussy cut some of the motifs. I even did it in like the cornerstones with the florals. I posted this on Instagram and I tagged the designer and he loves it, of course. So I used all the blues and creams in the line, which I know I have a lot of people who are, I don't know if the word's intimidated or unsure or not confident in choosing colors and things. And I always tell them, just pick stuff out of the same collection, out of the same line of fabric, and they'll match. And doesn't matter if they're like, you just get different colors or whatever, but if that's too much, you can stick to one colorway and pick a few from there, and you know it goes together, and you can be confident that it will look good. Sometimes it might look different. There was one way I was going to do the border, and I showed Ron, and it was like we decided, oh yeah, got to do that the other way. It looks better. And sometimes that's all you know. You don't know that until you're halfway through making it, and you just want to like mess around with a little more. But I'd started with fat quarter, so I had plenty to work with. So anyway, yeah, I made another sample. Okay. And you can see I'm working on that Christmas tree sampler, which is yet another sample. Do I have a Christmas tree sample that just needs binding in my sewing room? Yes. Yes, I do. I started it not last year. Did I start the year before? Or maybe even the year before that, because it's using my own scraps. Yeah, I am going to hang it up in the shop for December. Because stop the brain glitch. The freezing there was just me. It wasn't your video. It was just me stopping and going, yeah, okay. That's what I'm doing. Because I've got things in my planner nicely scheduled out through December. So, you know, how I change all the quilts that are in the shop and change what's hanging up. Like we've got some Halloween stuff hanging up right now. And I know Sunday I get to take it down and start putting up more of the, I have a rule, I don't put the Christmas stuff up before November 11th, but November the 12th, Christmas stuff's going up. There we go. Ha 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 ha. Ta-ta-da. Checking my list. I started my list like on Sunday. Well, no, I lied. I started my list on like last Thursday. It's like I just write it down through the week. Everybody says I'm so organized, but as I explained with the ADD, which is not a joke, it's actually real, but I do like joking about it. because that's how I cope. It looks like I'm highly organized because if I wasn't this organized, my entire life would be so much more chaos than it is right now and supremely anxiety inducing. Anyway, it's more about your local quilt shop owner than you needed to know or probably wanted. So the other thing that I did with the new fabric that's been coming in, see, I do things other than just, make samples because I felt like cutting fabric. I was starting to cut fat quarters. I just have to fold them up now. So the new sewing line that I talked about a while back, and the prairie meadow, and sometimes when people come in, they just want a fat quarter of something, and if I don't already have it cut, I will cut it. So somebody needed, somebody needed reds and whites here. So, and the toilet paper, the toilet paper roll fabric, there's only a couple fat quarters left and maybe a scrap somewhere. It's almost gone. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, when somebody, I will cut you a fat quarter if it doesn't already exist. If you need a fat quarter as opposed to a linear quarter meter. And when we cut the fat quarters, we make two at a time because we cut half a meter or half a yard, and then you cut it up the fold. Then you get 2 quarters. So as I tell the customers, one for you, one for the bin. It's no more work for me because they're like, oh, no, don't do anything special. I'm like, well, if there's none in the bin, I have to cut them eventually to get one in the bin. So they're doing me a favor, kind of. Not if you need like 12 or anything. That's a long time. Here's a book. Go read it. Sit in my nice, lovely salvage chair, and I'll get back to you in 10 minutes. So the other thing I did while I was cutting, oops, price tag came off. While I was cutting fabric in order to try and not make a new sample, I also cut a jelly roll. This is a homemade jelly roll. Yes, the homemade 2.5-inch strip roll of the prairie meadow. And I think there's 42 strips in here because there however many prints are in the line. I think it's 17. It's a weird number. I did 3 of each, 3 strips of each print. So there's still enough variety in there to do whatever jelly roll pattern you want. It'll look a little bit less scrappy and slightly more coordinated and still gorgeous. So yeah, this is priced at $58, which is still a decent price for a jelly roll. And I'm pretty happy with that. I rolled this myself. I feel amazing. I don't know if I could do it again though and have it look as nice. It's probably the thing. I'll try it once. It'll turn out great. I'll try it the second time saying the first time was so easy. And then the second time I'll screw it up horribly. Wonderful. And what I used to cut that out, this wasn't even on my list. So I have this shape cut ruler, shape cut pro. Ooh, it cuts 2.5-inch strips. It's got the slots already in the ruler. Whee! And you lay it out on the fabric. I just roll the bolt out on the cutting table like I would if I was cutting you fabric. I slap this ruler down. I just cut in the slots. Boom. Perfectly even 2.5-inch roll, 2.5-inch strips. I also use this when I'm cutting binding for things. It's very handy. It's also very expensive. It's like $100, but it's one of those, put that in your Christmas list because these shape cut rulers are amazing. And I've also used them to cut 10-inch squares too for that project that I accidentally miscut the other day. Go me. Yes, you definitely need that. They come in different sizes too, so you don't have to get the great big huge one. The smaller ones. This is my 12 by 12. This is my 12 by 12. This is mine personally because you can tell because it's all messed up. This one goes down to 1/2-inch cuts, and there's a 12 by 18 that does the 1/2-inch cuts. So it helps you get all the size nice and square and straight if you have trouble cutting consistent square sizes. This is super awesome. Put that on your Christmas list. Phew. Am I going too fast? Sometimes I go too fast. It might be the tea. It might be the tea. There we go. Just changing it so I can see your words. I don't plan on doing anything fancy with captions this weekend. So this week, right. Anyway, right. So Halloween is coming. I'm gonna go over to the grandkids and we're gonna watch the new Muppet movie, which I'm sure by the time I get there, they'll have seen it like 6 times already. But we're gonna have fun, darn it, whether you want to or not. The only candy I have left to bring over to them, because I usually take them out, but they moved out further in the country, so we aren't walking down the highway. No, jeez, I'm your spoiling grandma, but I gotta draw a line somewhere. No, I'm gonna bring some candy over. On our quest for candy corn, all I could find was stuff over at Shoppers. So they did have the candy corn, but they also had another divided sort of container with candy corn and other gumdrops and jelly beans and stuff like that and gummies. And there was a lot. There was like way too many of the black jelly beans. So there's lots of black jelly beans left, and then some gummy chews that are very, very chewy and very, very gummy that Emma and I didn't really like. So it's my rule. It's like, whatever we don't finish, we just take over to the grandkids because they'll eat it. They'll eat anything. They're my grandkids. I love those little stinkers. They know it. They know it. Anyway, if you need a last minute thing, trick or treat bags, make your own on this lovely panel. Is it $11? I think it's like $11. It would have helped sell them if I would have put a price tag on it, wouldn't it? That probably would have helped, honestly. Can't do everything, people. Jeez. Anyway, you know I'm kidding. It has the directions right on here. It makes 2, green handle, orange handle. Very easy to put together. It's a slightly heavier fabric, or it feels it. Is it? Sometimes they do that, but yeah. My sample, I actually put some fusible fleece in there just to give it a little more body. And you and your favorite grandchild or niece, nephew, kid in your life that's quasi family, nobody really cares anymore. You're their auntie, whether they like it or not, or their uncle. You can make them some treat bags. Maybe even for next year. Who knows? Who knows? So those are there. Just want to let you know. Oh, hi, Linda. Linda made it. Linda, we have new fabric. The hot cocoa came in. We talked all about it. So when you go back and watch the replay, you'll see all the beautiful stuff. And my favorite delivery man. I restocked the Kona, and then I was like, wait a second. Wasn't there another color I ordered? Yes. There was one color that was back ordered, and then lo and behold, today, one solitary bolt shows up. Don't you love how I haven't even unpacked it? It was just like right as I was getting ready. She's like, drop it off. Yep, see you, bye. And I'm just tickled whenever one, just solitary bolt showing up out of the blue, and it's blue. Imagine that. So the Celestial Blue is back in stock, not showing on the website because it literally just came in the door, but it will. If you walk in the shop, I'll sell you it. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Yep, the clock tells me it's almost that time. So I done good. Did good. So we did the hot cocoa. We talked about the Fleur de Lis tone on tone, which is on sale. Anybody do the math on 40% off? No, 25% off. Some of the sale fabric is 25% off and some is 40, but the tone on tone and the Be Kind are 25% off. They're in a separate box. Everybody keeps talking about how well organized things are here. Yes. I don't get distressed if the things don't go back on the shelf. I know some people probably are thinking, oh no, if I put it back wrong, it's going to upset her. No, it won't actually upset me. It has to get to a certain level before it does that. And I don't get upset. It's just a little, it just looks messy. So, but yeah, it has to reach an actual high level of mess before I'll have to clean it up. Depends how tired I am. But even though this is still in my house, I can choose to leave the room and go do something else. And I don't have to look at it if it bothers me. And then I come back and I look at it when I have the energy to deal with it. So just like life, sometimes you can do that. Look, it's Philosophy 101 with your host, the quilt shop owner. And if life gets too hard, you just go in your sewing room, cut up some fabric, stitch it together in a few different ways, and you'll feel better. That's probably why I made a sample, because it had been a while since I'd sewn something and I need that regular sewing time. That reminds me, I asked a question on our Facebook page and in one of our groups. I asked the same question. What's the biggest hurdle that you have in quilting right now? And the number one answer so far has been time. And honestly, the thing that I found that's most helpful for that is to schedule that time in for yourself. And don't think of it as being selfish or anything. I know so many people that it's absolutely what you do need. It's self-care. You should be scheduling it in just like you schedule yourself in time to eat and time to take a shower and reading time and taking care of yourself. That is, there's my messages going. My husband's being funny. It's distracting. Scheduling time for yourself. Yes. For me, I've discovered that that crafting time and that puttering time where I just need to sort of be creative, even if I'm really tired and burnt out with other things, that I can just sort of like play with my stuff. Like, and sometimes that happens. This is like too much life. If you just go in your fabric room, touch your fabric, see what you have, look at those projects. Don't beat yourself up over the stuff that you haven't got done yet. That's fine. You're probably never going to get them done. It's okay, mom. I'll inherit all your fabric and do some of it. I'm sure half of what you've got is my unfinished projects anyway, because we just flip them back and forth. But yes, as we get busier, this is the season. I'm heading right smack into birthday season as well as holidays. And, you know, busy time at the shop. It's a revolving door around here, um, which is great. That is not a complaint. I got a kid in college. Jeez. So it's just more important than ever to make sure that you know, put yourself in your schedule, or you're just going to go, you'll just be more upset. It's just, if you just make that time now, look ahead in your planner, make yourself an appointment, say, yep, no, sorry, I'm booked. Yep. Yep. So busy. So busy. So busy in my sewing room, taking time for me, because I need that. And I just wanted you to remember that you need that time too. So that's very important that you do that, because I know you're all hanging out here because A, you really like sewing or quilting, or B, you think I'm hilarious, which is also funny. Um, or you just like hearing the sound of my voice drone on and on in the morning. But anyway, maybe it's not a cozy hug. Maybe it's a little pat in the hand. Have a cup of tea, honey. Have a little snack. Tell me all about your problems. Go touch your fabric. Everything will feel better. Like I said, like I cut up. That price tag fell off again. The trials and tribulations of your local quilt shop owner who can't get the price tag to stick. Anyway, so like I said, sometimes I just need to cut stuff, and to prevent me from making yet another sample that I wouldn't finish, I made a jelly roll. But you know what? I felt better. Look at this. It's perfect. It's cute. It's really nice. So yeah, do that for you. Okay? And with that, we shall start the heading out music. Just hit the pause button, hit the play button again. Get yourself your hot cocoa, your hot drink, settle in for your day. I hope you tackle your to-do list and put yourself on it with your fabric time or whatever makes you happy. Bubble bath, Netflix. Bubble bath and Netflix. Maybe not at the same time. Kind of dangerous having your TV in there. Netflix and sewing, that's what we do. All right, I'm out of here. We'll see you later. Shop is now a mess, and I got to clean it up before Eddie comes in here. Fine red fabric. Or green, because it's the season. Okay, toots. See you later.